Hello, this is Victoria here at Shop Eco, and I am going to be answering hopefully all of the questions you've ever had about candles and candle maintenance. So we get this kind of question a lot, slash we offer a lot of advice on this subject because our candles are different from other candles. We've got quite a few options, and most of them are a soy wax blend, a non-GMO soy wax blend with vegetable wax. And the wicks themselves are also unique. So both companies, Coal and Canary and our local company, My Weekend is Booked, both use these wax combos. The Coal and Canary is a wooden wick that you can kind of see there. And then My Weekend is Booked uses a cotton wick. So these two are very different from each other, as well as those that use a hemp wick. Hemp wicks burn pretty short, and they tend to kind of take care of themselves, which is really nice. And you'll see, and you'll understand why after I explain. Where the cotton wicks, there we go, they tend to burn long, so they need more maintenance. This is something actually my mom taught my sister and I when we were very young about candle maintenance and how important it is, and it will really extend the life of your candle. It will certainly better your experience with your candle. So let's get into it. I want to start with my beautiful wick trimmer. These guys are extremely sharp, so please be mindful of that. Their goal is to trim the wick, and the nice thing, I'll see if I can show you well enough here, because they're offset from each other, oh good, that it actually gives you the proper length you need in the difference here for how long your candle should be. So it almost does the work for you, which we love. So we want to make sure that when we start our candle, to get started, you're trimming it to the proper size. So the Coal and Canary ones are actually pretty good. So it's only gonna, it flew somewhere. It's only gonna take off a small amount, which is all right by me. But definitely the My Weekend is Booked candle, because that wick is so long, it needs to be trimmed right away. Reason why you want to trim this, especially on the cotton wick candle right now at the beginning, is because the flame will be enormous, which is not very safe. So we want to make that nice and short, and we're just again gonna put it right in and trim it. The other nice thing is when you're doing your maintenance on your candle and trimming it later on, because these are so long, they can go down right in and they are flat on the bottom, opposed to scissors, you're trying to get it in and it's kind of a mess. And it's a lot more work, and then, you know, maybe you're using those scissors for other things in the kitchen, you don't want wax and soot all over them. So really to have your own pair of wick trimmers is ideal. So again, you just go in, give it that good trim, popped right out, and then we've got our nice cute little wick, which is appropriately sized. So step one of trimming our wicks is complete. Often I do this for people when they buy a candle fresh from us, just to, you know, a good reminder, because sometimes people want to go and they want to light it right away, which is very exciting. So I just want to get that step started for them. Secondly, lighting our candle. That is, wow, the big question we get a lot. So I have the rechargeable USB lighter that we're using here, opposed to matches or one of the butane lighters. This one you just charge and reuse, and it hopefully should be your forever lighter. So it does have a safety feature on the bottom. So this one here, you just push it over to the side, and then when you push it on, then you can see and probably hear that noise that makes it have its electricity that it's going to light the flame with. So the My Weekend is Booked, the cotton wick candles and the hemp wick candles are gonna go pretty easily. They don't need much because they're just different from the wooden wick candles. They hold a larger flame more at the top of the wick, so they just are kind of lit like regular candles. So I'm just gonna light this guy here. Ooh, sorry. I can't, I'm trying to show you and I'm not seeing completely here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna do it from this way, so I'm gonna cover my face. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I was holding it this way and the flame was actually underneath this. So then when I was moving it, it was kind of putting it out. So there we go. Should be super easy. Just make sure the flame is on top of the lighter, not under the lighter. It's a good little lesson. So this guy, I'm gonna just put him aside because he is lit and ready to go and smelling like birthday cake. So the trickier part is with the wooden wick candles. The coal and canary candles that have the wooden wicks, really the big difference, how I said that the cotton wick holds the flame higher, the wooden wicks hold the flame lower. So they need a lower, higher temperature for it to burn the wax. So what that means is if you light it at the top of the wick, it will put itself out. And another reason why we wanted to trim that wick as well. So when we hold the flame lower on the wick here and longer than normal, that is like the number one thing, like longer than you would think normal, or else it's gonna put itself out. Especially at the beginning, sometimes the wooden wicks need to be primed. So if it kind of goes out the first time, that's actually pretty normal. Some people kind of struggle a couple times. My mom got a wooden wick candle and then we have little instructions just to make it really easy for people. And of course, she, you know, lit it a few times and didn't have any issues. And then all of a sudden was having a problem with it. And I came over and she said, I'm struggling with my candle. I read the instructions and she says, watch, and I'm gonna do it for you right now. And of course she got it right then. So sometimes it's just that little trick of it needing to be primed properly. So let's go ahead and light this one. So again, I'm gonna hold it at the base. And sometimes even with the wooden wick candles, I do it from both sides because you can, and hopefully you can see that it's kind of lit literally on the side that I lit it on. You can see where the black is starting. So I'm just gonna turn it so it gets all the way through, but often I will light it from both sides and then it kind of meets in the middle. The other so you can see how big this flame is just with that short little wick. So that's another reason why we wanted to trim it right at the beginning, because again, they can get quite large. The very cool thing about the wooden wick candles is they have a flicker and they have a crackle sound. So sorry, my crackle was too big. The crackle sound, it can be quite faint, but almost if you're kind of sitting there and you stop thinking about it, you're like, what's that noise? And then you're trying to look for it and you're like, oh yeah, my candle. So I'm gonna put it close and see if you can hear it. I know there's a lot of ambient sound, but let's see. I'm not sure, there's a lot of like the computers and everything, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it. So I've got those two guys just sitting to the side and they're, you know, gonna be hanging out for a while. And while they do that, I'm gonna tell you a couple other things. So like any candle, especially these candles, when they're burning, you need to ensure that they burn all the way across, especially the first time, but really every time. So I think that's at least like an hour. And the reason is, especially with the wooden wick candles, because they hold that flame so low to the wick, if you're allowing that pool of oil to sit there and you're kind of having it make its little cave opposed to going all the way across, that little pool of oil around the wick will actually put the flame out. So that's another thing that people struggle with. So again, just like a conventional candle, you want to make sure you get full burn, and that way you're going to get the longest life out of your candle, you're going to get the longest burn out of your candle, it's going to look the most beautiful, all of the good things that we want. And then you'll get better scent throw as well because of that pool of oil is going to be larger opposed to a small pool of oil. So yes, all of those things are very important. I also wanted to show you that this here is a beautiful example of a candle whose wick did not get trimmed. So you can see one side versus the other, this black soot here that is very prominent. So this is honestly the perfect example. This is what will happen to your jars if you don't trim the wick, because again, the wick is so large, the flame is enormous, and then you're just getting that sooty mess everywhere. Like, and it can go outside of this as well. If you've got it in another decorative vase, it can be on that. So you will see also in the flame itself, I'm trying to be gentle here. I want to pick this one back up and show you. So this one here, you can see the beautiful flame and it's just glowing. It would be about 2, sometimes 3 times this size, and it would actually have black at the end. It would just be way too big, like scary looking big. And then you should have pre-trimmed it, but then you would definitely know that it needs a trim. So honestly, if it's at that point, just blow it out, trim it, and start over. But this is what your glass will look like if you allow that. Even if it's just one time you forget it, that's sufficient to get your glass to not be so beautiful. And it doesn't look nice either. A lot of people want to reuse their glasses, so then it's even more work to have to clean it out. So you can easily prevent all of this with your little wick trimmer. It's quite easy to clean. I'll show you that as well. But before we do that, you can see it's got its wick base in there. And you can see that there's some wax also. So you want to keep in mind that the way the wick is at the bottom, I wish you could see, but it's a triangle. So we've got our wick base, that's this, and in here is the wick. So the wick is being held right in the middle here, and this part is directly on the base of the glass. You've got your wax around, and then you've got the base of the wick here. So there is going to be some wax at the bottom. That is very normal and very typical. And it's also a safety precaution as well. So the flame isn't heating up the bottom of the glass. So if you see that on your candles, that is normal. So that, the wax that's in there, that's normal. Sometimes it's a little bit bigger. This one got burned like to the bottom almost. So it might have just been whoever had burnt it the last time kind of just let it go until the flame went out. So they got a decent amount of the bottom. But in order to reuse this glass and to clean it, we want to make sure that we take the base out. So an easy way to do that, again, is actually to take your wick trimmer, and you can get it right in there and very easily pop it out. I honestly, actually, I didn't think it was gonna be that easy, but here we are. It was very easy, so it just popped it right out. You can see that little square missing. And then once you've got that taken out, you can take like a little butter knife and kind of just scrape it out. I have seen those hacks online. I've heard people doing this where they put the glass in their freezer and then they just pop the whole thing out. I have heard that that works for people, but I have also heard of people then shattering the glass because it's cold, and then they stick their knife in and they do one of these too hard and the whole thing breaks. So it's not that difficult once you've got a little bit of that wax left, just to take your little butter knife. I'm surprised they haven't come out with a proper scraping tool, actually. Maybe there is and I just am not aware of it, but you just scrape a little bit of that, and then we're gonna clean this. So bear with me because I forgot to get a little disposable towel. Hold on one second. Okay, so I even grabbed a little butter knife to make it as easy as possible. There are some rings on the side here, so easily you can just scrape those as well. But I'm just going to kind of go around the perimeter. My big hand is in the way. Okay, what is a better way to show this? This way? This way. So literally just scooping it out like it's cream cheese or something, or icing. We can go with icing. And then I'm just putting it on a disposable cloth here since it's messy and I don't want it to stain any of your beautiful towels at home. So we're going to scoop and scoop. And also, if you're recycling glass, if you find that you've got no purpose for it, you don't want to use it as a drinking glass, that's fine as well, but you do still need to do this in order for them to recycle it properly. If you're wanting it to be squeaky, squeaky clean to drink out of, then it would just need a little bit more scrubbing after this, but this is virtually getting 99% of it out. So another little chunk there. So with that scraping, you can see all the majority of the wax is gone. And then again, I'm going to take my disposable cloth with my cleaner. And then we want to get all of that gorgeous soot out of here. So you can see this was a decent amount in there. So that could have even just been from one time not trimming that wick. So that just really shows you how important it is, because that, you don't want it on your walls, or if it's next to a lamp on the table, it can get on that. So again, to be as safe as possible, it really makes a difference to trim that wick. So I'm also pressing down to kind of scoop up as much wax as I can. Get a little spritz. Take another one here. After doing this, I would even just like clean it with my dishes, actually, after getting all the wax that I could out of it. Even by hand, this has gotten a lot out. There we go. That did a really good job. Like I said, there's still a little bit of the film on the inside, but these are like really nice rock glasses when you're done with them. Some people use them decoratively. I've seen on their website, some people have done like flower arrangements in them, which is really cool. So there is a lot you can do with these when you're done with them. And it, you know, you saw it only took like 2 minutes for me to clean it up, if that. So that is also very important. So that's nice because you get to use this tool 2 times. And sometimes it does get a little wax on it there. So again, just make sure you give it a little wipe off. And reminder, do not put your fingers in the middle here. Don't close it on your fingers because it is very sharp. Sometimes just to get really in there, I'll do one of these and kind of close it on it, so it will get all in there. But again, you can see it's, you know, it's cutting the wick, it's cutting this. So just be mindful of those fingers. It's so cute too. I just think anything that's like a little bit extra fancy and dainty is like the sweetest thing ever. So I wanted to give you a little candle update. It hasn't even really been that long, but these candles smell so good, especially together. But let me just show you its burning progress here. So this is the birthday cake. I'm gonna steal this for a second. And that is its progress of that one burning. So it's got a little bit going. It doesn't burn as quickly, I would say. And then, bear with me here, I'm trying to be very gentle and safe and delicate. And this one was actually burned afterwards, and you can see the pool on it. Sorry, my breath is trying to blow it out. Is already quite large, but still I want to make sure that it goes all the way to the edge. So it's not creating that cavern. There we go. Whew. Just wanted to be safe. But when you are ready to blow out your candle, again, when you're blowing the candle out, as we've learned from COVID-19, thanks so much, that, you know, you're kind of spitting everywhere, and maybe not everybody likes that. So that can also like spread some of the wax, like if you're doing it really heavily, or I've done it a couple times where I do like a, and I think I blew it out, sorry, and I didn't actually. So then I come back to it later and it's still burning, which is horrifying. So of course there's a tool for that. So we have our beautiful candle snuffer. My mom actually had one of these too, that was made of brass, and it was beautiful. My sister and I would always kind of like, not fight, but we'd be like, I want to put out all the candles, and then we would snuff all the candles out. So if you don't know what a snuffer is, it is just a dome here that when you put it over the candle flame, it takes away all the oxygen and then puts the flame out. So you don't have to blow on it. This will do the job for you. So I'm grabbing our birthday candle. Sorry, I just want to be really delicate. And then literally you're just going to put it over top of the flame, and you can actually see it go down. I don't know if you can see it from there, but the flame starts to get very low. And voila, it's out. That was it. Thought it might have been a little bit more exciting, but it wasn't. So again, make sure not to touch the underside of this, or not to put it down directly onto your table, because I actually dipped it down too far that it did get some wax on it. So then you don't want to then put that on your table and get a wax ring, because that would not be nice. And this is going to be hot too, so again, give it an extra second before touching it. I'm just going to give it a little wipe here, and then we're all clean again. So we've got our most important tools, our wick trimmer, which is going to make sure our wick is the appropriate length, and then we're not getting that giant flame, which is a safety precaution. You know, if you have animals too, cats, dogs, their tail goes all over the place. So if you have a lower table, that is a very important thing, so you don't have a big giant flame. And I hear apparently cats also like to play with the flame. Not ideal. Then this can also be used to remove the base once you are finished the whole candle. We've got our gorgeous lighter. That is going to be our forever lighter. That just, it takes about 30 minutes to charge. And then it just uses its electricity, again with the safety feature. So I'm pushing it up right now and nothing's happening because it's not technically on. So we love a safety feature. And then our candle snuffer to put out the flame at the end. So I'm going to let this candle continue to burn so it gives you the full effect, and I can show you exactly what it looks like, and then we will put that candle out too. So I think it's going to take maybe another 30 minutes. So I'm going to put you on pause, and then we will come back in 30 minutes and we will review this candle together. So I will see you in a few. Welcome back. So it has been a couple hours and our candle has been burning. I will attempt to pick it up. It is very hot and gorgeous, but better yet, I will turn it around. So you can see it has officially gotten oil all the way to the edge here, which is what we want. So every time we want the candle to burn all the way across just like that. I can't remember exactly what the burn times for each of the candles are, but every company and every size will have a different burn time. So this has been burning since 10, 11, 12, for 3 hours. So I set about an hour to get all across, and it almost was like around that time, but it still had that lip. So I just wanted to make it as clear as possible, so I let it go for as long as I could. So let me turn the camera around here. Okay, so now you can get the full view here of what it looks like. And you can see that from here to here, it is all liquid. And it is liquid all the way to the edges. I did also want to point out, you can see right here that it kind of looks like a little bubble in the candle, because most of the candles, I think actually all the candles we carry right now are hand poured. This is just, I can't remember, there's an actual name for it, but it's just a slight, I don't even want to say imperfection because I don't really think that it is, but because when you hand pour, it just dries a little differently. So sometimes you can actually see it against the glass on the inside, but it's actually not a hole. It's not a pocket. It's just the fact that it's pressed against the glass inside a bit oddly. But that's again because of the hand poured nature of the candles. You'll see that, yeah, you can see it a little bit there, very slightly. You really have to be looking at it. Plus we're looking at it from a certain lighting angle. I did want to point that out though. So if you ever see that on your candles at home, it is perfectly normal. So this is what we're looking at. Every single time we want to burn our candles, we want that to go all the way to the edge here. This looks so serene. I'm gonna be quiet for a minute and see if you can hear that crackling sound. Maybe if you turn your volume up, you'll really be able to hear it there because it is so beautiful. Okay, I already have a candle burning in the store here today, so I'm gonna go ahead and put out our candle with our beautiful snuffer here to end this off. So we're just gonna put this right over top. I think you can already see that it has gone out. That was easy. I didn't even have to go all the way down on that one. So this one, I know I definitely didn't touch it, so I'm safe to put it right back on the table. And then we're gonna let this harden all the way back up. So that again will take a couple hours. And then be sure to trim that wick again next time we light it so the flame doesn't get big and create that black soot that nobody wants. Well, I certainly hope you learned some invaluable tools on how to light your candle, preserve your candle, clean your candle, put out your candle, all of the wonderful things, candle maintenance and safety that is involved. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out, leave them in the comments or anything like that, because you have an opportunity to win a $25 gift card if your question is chosen. So that is open to Canadian residents, excluding Quebec. And if you need something or if you need to know something, please let us know and we are happy to help you. I hope you have a fabulous day and we'll be back more with some amazing tips for you. Thank you so much.